feel the power? Can you feel the power? Feel the power of double XI.
Listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast. You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hey, my name is Davis and I'm from Haiti, but I live in Dominican Republic. I'm here, Positive Power 21, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
That's right, you tell them, little buddy. You tell them, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the live jazz experience coming out of Charm City and C-Town, Chestertown, Maryland. What's going on, y'all? We in a heat zone. We got a heat wave going on right here at the WKHS 90.5. That's right, the Jazz Podcast. It's right here. I know you guys probably missing the FM side on Sundays, but Lady Praise is right here, y'all. She is right here with Jazzman and the Batman. I know you miss her, and she's always having a great lineup of jazz music. She will be back. Things will be open up soon. We don't know when, only God knows. But he got his soldiers. He got his soldiers working on it right now. That's right. Everybody on the front line doing that thing, communicating. That's right. They're getting ready for a second wave. So everybody, you got to protect yourself. You got to talk to your young people. That's right. You got to talk to your young people. They don't get it, but they know when they come home and grandma don't make it to the next week or pop. Come on, young people, wear your mask. When you're with your friends, you got to wear your mask. You have to. If you can't do it, just don't go. This is a matter of life and death. This is a PSA from the Batman of Charm City. That's right, because I watched the reports and it's different. The reports is different on Messenger than it is on the regular news. It's not pretty at all. People give you the real news on Messenger and with video, and it ain't pretty. So come on, people, we got to act right. U.S. is leading in deaths right now, at least somewhere one of the large categories. So we got to slow it down, y'all. I know everybody want to go out. You got cabin fever. I know it's going on a little too long, but anyway, we have a guest from the West Coast going to be joining us tonight. I hope she got her time zone straight. We did email her, and she did respond, so I hope she got it right. So Jana Blackwell is going to be joining us. She got a really nice song that's out. We really like it a lot. It's called Tune Setting. So anyway, Lady Praise, what's going on with you? How you doing tonight? How's it in Chestertown?
We're doing pretty good, man. What's up? How you doing? How's everybody doing out there?
Yeah.
How you doing, Lady Praise?
Jazzman.
Hey, what's up, Jazz?
Jazzman. So how you guys doing in C-Town?
Yeah.
How y'all making out?
We're doing all right. You know, doing what we got to do.
Now,
doing pretty good. I mean,
lady,
we got to do our thing.
That's right. So, Lady Praise, you still out there on the front lines, right?
Yep, every day.
So how's it looking? I mean, is the people getting better? I mean, I know it's a little different in certain areas, like it looks like the people in the big cities not paying no attention right now. I know New York is acting right because they trying to, they trying to bottom it out, But how about Chestertown, downtown Chestertown? How are people behaving?
Over here, it's not really doing that great because people are not. Positivity rate is up, especially as far as Queen Anne's County.
Wow. And
as far as where I live, you got a lot of restaurants and stuff that are closed down. We're all about seafood over here.
Right.
So, in Kent Island, as you come across the Bay Bridge, all of those restaurants have shut down because you had a lot of people that were out partying and having a good time and eating crabs and whatever. And then they came back, and a lot of those places had a lot of positive tests, and they had to shut down.
Wow.
So a lot of those places right now are shut down. There are some that are back open, but again, people are not paying attention, and they're not heeding the warning as far as you need to have a mask on and not socialize and social distancing.
That's
so
right.
It ain't going that great over here. I mean,
now how about Cracker Barrel? How about Cracker Barrel? Is Cracker Barrel still open? I know they don't close for no reasons. They still open?
No, the Cracker Barrel is open, but you can't go in and eat.
Oh, wow. So what, they making people eat on the porch? Or the parking lot?
No, it's carry out.
Oh, carry out only. Wow.
It's carry out.
Man, I
And
love that place.
Actually, I think they do have it. Let me back that up. I think they do have it open, but again, they have it where they, because it's, when you go in a Cracker Barrel, you've got very tight seating.
Yeah.
And they have people really, really spread out in there. I've only been in there once since this whole thing started, and I went in and carried out and came out. I said, I am not sitting inside. No way.
So they let you come in to get the food, or they bring it out to you?
You can come in and order it in the store, but you need to stay separate and away from everybody else while you're waiting for your order to come. But again, yeah. Now, if you want to, you can call, and then they will bring it out to you in your car.
Wow. So that's what we talking about. No, that might be a nice.
Right up here.
Yeah, it might be a nice drive for us to go out to the airport and to Cracker Barrel, because we do kind of miss some Cracker Barrel. Even though I got to look at the menu, because I've been doing the white meat or red meat in a very long time, so I'm kind of limited what I can get, but I'm sure I can make it work.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Jazz, man, how's it going in the public, you work in the public sector. So how's it going? I mean, the local government sector, how's it going, with the public? How are they behaving?
Well, actually, this week we started a curbside pickup.
Okay.
So that's going pretty well.
So that's every day?
There won't be anybody in the building, I don't think, for any time soon.
All right. So that's every day that people can come pick up their books?
Yeah, they can order. Yeah, they order online, or they can call and order it. Yeah, whatever items they need, and we put it out in the vestibule, color coded, and they come pick it up. They give us the exact time, and that's how it works.
All right.
Nobody in the building.
Nobody in the building.
So you're not probably going to open up one anytime soon, Jasmine, at all for the library?
Not in the building.
Wow.
Nah, because people don't follow, the regulations. I mean, Anne Arundel County was almost like the guinea pig. They opened up their library to patrons. A couple employees came down with COVID-19. That was that.
Wow.
I mean, this was immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because what happened is you can't, like, the staff you can control, because not everybody's in the building every day. You only have a certain amount. It's easy to social distance. But when you got the public, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, who coming up in there. I'm going to tell you.
I mean, a lot of people, even when people wear masks, they're not sanitizing frequently.
Yeah, you got to wash them hands. Yeah.
But they don't sanitize.
Yeah, people not washing their hands, and then they're touching their face.
Yeah, you got to wash your hands. You got to constantly sanitize. You got to make sure your mask is on all times. Social distance. You got to have at least 6 to 10 feet. I mean, people are very casual with it, but I figured when you open up bars, restaurants, and then you got beaches, it's chaotic.
But you know what I heard that was so crazy though? Right before the summertime hit, they said letting the people out into the natural elements, like the beach, because they said the sun and the sand, can protect you against COVID. It was like some crazy stuff about how over 89 degrees can kill the virus. And I'm telling people, to me, I don't know what they really, how they think they fooling people. It's just going against all science to me. To me, it behaves like pneumonia. It ain't no heat killing on pneumonia. It's just a matter of you getting over that.
I think what it is, like the health officials say, it's not actually being on the beach. It's going to the bars and restaurants on the beaches.
Yeah, but see, you got people laying around
out on the beach.
Yeah, but when you go to the beach, you got people that's still moving around and coughing and stuff. I mean, I was listening to a report. I was listening to the memorial of Congressman John Lewis, and there was somebody was coughing inside the rotunda, the mall they called it. When he was inside, doing the ceremony, it was somebody coughing. Yeah. And it was a dry cough too.
Did they have masks on?
Yeah, they had on masks, but who knows? You cough, that thing could be. Who knows what kind of fibers they got? To Do they have the right fibers?
Yeah.
You know, some people wear homemade masks and silk masks and foam masks. Who knows if it's really doing anything? You know, because they trying to save the real proper medical mask for first liners. You know, the front liners. So you're not even supposed to really be able to buy.
N95.
Yeah, you're right. Because there's two types that they wear in the hospitals. Because my neighbor actually works for the hospital. He gave us two types. One, he said, this is what they use in surgery. And this one right here is basically going into patients' rooms. And it's hard to breathe with them bad boys on, you know, if you're moving.
I got one of those. I can go in the supermarkets or the pharmacy, but I can't work in it.
Yeah, it's tough.
So we got some other kind of masks.
Yeah, the paper ones,
I go
not
with the
bad.
N95, you can wear it for about 2 hours at the most.
Yeah, so I was kind of used to it for a while because I used to cut the grass in them when I was, because the allergy season was really bad in the spring. And in the fall, like September, so I normally wear one because I had a whole box of them things, for grass cutting season. And they, you get used to it after a while, man. So anyway, I did hit our guest up. I don't know if our guest is on the right time zone again today. She's missing in action. So what we could do, we could take a break, a music break after Jazzman do our music history lesson for today.
Well, you want me to do it at the top of the hour? You ready for now?
You can go ahead and do it now, and then we can go back into another topic of what's going on. Amen.
All right. The featured artist this evening is Abby Lincoln. Abby Lincoln was born Anna Marie Wooldridge. Known professionally as Abby Lincoln, she was an American jazz vocalist, songwriter, and actress. She was a civil rights activist beginning in the 1960s. Abby Lincoln made a career not only out of delivering deeply felt presentations of standards, but writing and singing her own material. Born in Chicago, but raised in Calvin Center, Michigan, Lincoln was one of many singers influenced by Billie Holiday. She often visited the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City. Her debut album, Abby Lincoln's Affair, A Story of a Girl in Love, was followed by a series of albums for Riverside Records. In 1960, she sang on Max Roach's landmark civil rights theme recording, We Insist. Lincoln's lyrics were often connected to the civil rights movement in America. After a tour of Africa in the mid-1970s, she adopted the name Aminata Moseka. During the 1980s, Abby Lincoln's creative output was smaller, and she released only a few albums during that decade. Her song, For All We Know, is featured in the 1989 film Drugstore Cowboy. During the 1990s and until her death, however, she fulfilled a 10-album contract with Verve Records. These albums are highly regarded and represent a crowning achievement in Lincoln's career. Devil's Got Your Tongue, which was produced in 1992, featured Rodney Kendrick, Grady Tate, Iran Israel, J.J. Johnson, Stanley Torrentine, Babatunde Alatunji, and the Staple Singers, among others. In 2003, Abby Lincoln received a National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Master Award. She also began acting in 1956 and appeared in the movie The Girl Can't Help It, for which she wore a dress that had been worn by Marilyn Monroe and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. With Ivan Dixon, she co-starred in Nothing But a Man in 1964, which was an independent film written and directed by Michael Romer. In 1968, she co-starred with Sidney Poitier and Beau Bridges in For Love of Ivy and received a 1969 Golden Globe nomination for her appearance in the film. Television appearances began in 1968 with The Name of the Game. She also was featured in a documentary series called On Being Black. She also appeared in Mission Impossible in 1971, The Short Walk to Daylight in 1972, Marcus Welby, MD, and All in the Family. In 1990, the Spike Lee movie Mo Better Blues, Abby Lincoln played the young, bleak mother Lillian. Lincoln died on August 14th, 2010 in Manhattan, 8 days after her 80th birthday.
Wow, 80 years old.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, 80 years old. That's considered young these days, though. Yeah, that was natural causes.
Yeah. Well, actually, when she passed away, they never really gave a cause of her death. It was never officially given.
All right. Okay. And she was involved
she died in a Manhattan. Yeah, she died in a nursing home.
Yeah.
But her health was deteriorating after undergoing open heart surgery in 2007.
Yeah. She's a powerful woman, a champion of civil rights. Awesome.
Yeah, Abby Lincoln.
Yeah.
So,
powerful. All right. Thank you, Jazz Man, for that Black music history lesson. All right, we got a lot going on in the world today, and I know a lot of people probably like, should I watch the news or should I watch a good movie? Or a movie I never seen. You know, it's you got your choices of entertainment, or just sit down and listen to some music.
I think it's a good idea. I think with the news today, there's so much going on. It's good to be aware, but you don't want to be too consumed.
Yeah. And
that it affects your overall mental health well-being.
So true.
You got to have a balance.
Yeah, a lot of people sit around.
Some stuff you listen to is always a lot of stuff you have on Messenger and stuff. A lot of that stuff I don't even pay attention to. Yeah. You got to just be careful where your sources are, and people really got to do their research.
Yeah, it's true.
You really got to dig in and do your research on stuff. There's a lot of quackery going on right now.
Yeah.
A lot of crack going on.
Sometimes it's pretty interesting though when you get you get a video from the people from the medical community, because a lot of them are getting a little frustrated. Just remember, how it is when you're in your job and they have some kind of policy. You're like, what? Where did they get that from? Who wrote that? Here it comes from the top. You're kind of like wondering, well, they not down here on the front lines. Why they ask us? So it's kind of interesting though. This what's happening, and I still think it's a flim-flam going on, but, it's my opinion.
But also with the pandemic, there's a lot of, there's a large unknown factor.
Right. Because nobody telling us the truth. That's why. We need the truth.
When you have a virus that have 30 strains and 10 and 9 of those strains can mutate.
Yeah. See, it's something else that's going on with the environment that's causing all this to happen, and they just not coming clean with it. That's my opinion. But, hey, we just got to follow the leader. So anyway, let's talk a little. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and play Miss Blackwell's song Tune Setter, and then we'll be right back. Amen. So hold tight, everybody. You're watching. Amen. You're watching and you're listening to the Live Jazz Experience on Periscope TV and Spreaker Radio. Of course, Spreaker Radio, we want to give a shout out to all of our listeners overseas that's catching our stream, and especially those who are listening to us on demand. We appreciate you guys. And don't forget, y'all, to subscribe to pray.com. We're actually syndicated with that network now. It's one of the biggest faith-based apps out there right now. So go out to pray.com. Check that out. All right, here we go. We're going to check out Janae Blackwell's song called Tune Setting.
Checking my stats, running background checks 'cause I'm cautious. It ain't hard to tell that I love being me. Thinking dating nowadays is exhausting. I'm on a natural high, not trying to come down. Just passing through, not trying to stop now. Love to see the smiles on my loved ones' faces. Then after my shows, it's back to the basics. From phone bills to car notes and insurance. Fuel in my gas tank and bridge clearance. Repping currency kings. Write it down, take a picture, a copy and paste. Haters are hating my grounds.
Tune setting. Upgrading your vocals to high quality sounds. A formulation. As it goes for Jana Blackwell.
Been lost in this world trying to find myself. Saying, Lord, can you hear me? I need your help. Lost a few loved ones in my life. Trying to raise my kids and teach them right. Rent is sky high, trying to lose my pride. It's warm in my heart, but it's cold outside. Hard to survive, it's not like the 80s. I guess in my dreams I can get that Mercedes. Way over my head, gotta stay focused. Gotta pay this rent or get a 30-day notice. Cause it's a cold, cold world. Gotta guard yourself, be on your P's and Q's.
Heart and soul. Diva of the Bay Area. As you know, it's tune setting. As we bring it through Jana Blackwell.
You're listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
All right, that was Jana Blackwell, and that was called Tune Setting.
The song is hot. I love it.
Yeah,
I like that.
tight beat.
Yeah, she's got that whole vibe going on, like Sunshine Anderson and Tweet. You know, I love it.
Yeah, I miss
That's what I
Tweet.
love
Yeah, those days, man.
That's right.
Yeah, wow. Good music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
You got nice groove.
That's right.
Yeah, nice groove. Wow.
Yeah. All right, we got
Really
a
nice
tweet.
story.
We got a tweet came in from Dwayne Gott. He said, "Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe." That was just a reminder from Gott Music. If you guys know Dwayne Gott, he is the bass player for Hezekiah Walker, and they've been with him for years. Actually, has a Grammy or two. So he say, "Stay safe, y'all." So when you get that message from Dwayne Gott, you got to pay attention. Things are happening. He's up in Jersey and New York. So people.
No, yeah.
Gotta remind you, y'all. We gotta turn this thing around. And it's a lot of talk about a lot of the schools, secondary schools. They already made a decision. They're just not going to deal with it. I know some states are still struggling. I think North Carolina was one of them. They've been going at it with the teachers unions and stuff. Even the college system is kind of on the fence because it's all in the governor's hands, And I guess it's because, a lot of them are looking at that funding's being threatened. But the good news is we heard that Mr. Bizzo, his wife, gave 3 HBCUs, I think each around $20 million or something like that. Yeah. I think it was Xavier, Howard, and Hampton received some money contributed through the Amazon franchise, the Amazon people. Yeah, the wife of
okay.
What's his first name? Jim? Is it Jim Bizzo? Is that right, Mike? I think that's his first name. His wife is wealthy too, so she gave the money.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff. Right, Jeff. How I forget his name? I used to read about him every day. Yeah. his wife, and I can't think of her name right. I think is her name Ann, because I know I'm probably getting her mixed up with the woman who started Spain. What's those tights that women wear? Spandex. Spanx. Yeah, the lady started Spanx.
Spanx.
Yeah, I used to read up on them how they got their start. And she was a fashion designer, and she just happened to stumble across that design. Man, super billionaire. Yeah, I was reading about the super billionaires one day. According to some statistics that came out, I believe it was from Fortune, they said in I believe it was April, well maybe it was June, might have been 60 or 90 days, that Amazon, Facebook, and Tesla made over $80 billion in less than 90 days. That's crazy.
Yes.
Imagine that.
That was April. That's what, March, April, May?
Yeah.
March, April, May.
The report came out in June.
Yeah.
And I haven't been seeing a lot of Teslas because I've seen some models I've never seen before. I was like, what is that? I like that. It was a Tesla. Snuck up on me too, like a stealth. Yeah. And of course.
Yeah. So going back to, going back to what you were saying about as far as the schools over here, they are virtual this year. So as far as the Sunday Jazz Experience show, I am meeting with Lane tomorrow. He has the musicology show. And we're meeting tomorrow, Thursday, to just discuss and to talk about his show, talk about my show, and we're probably going to try to see if we can get hold of Chris, the station manager, so we can see what's going to happen. Because it looks like we're probably not going to be able to get back in there until sometime next year.
Wow!
So.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing that's the same situation that a lot of even publicly owned stations are experiencing because of the building maintenance and everything. Because a lot of them, I think now they got some kind of coding issue going on with ventilation systems have to be changed over. A lot of stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I think they might be kind of treating this a little bit like when they were talking about the air conditioning system and the way heat and stuff is circulated. You know what? Because you got two different type of heating systems in our homes. You have the heat pumps. All they do is just warm up the air. They just blow it out. They just heat it up, blow it out. And then you have the furnaces that actually have a broiler on them, and they just shoot out the heat through pipe the heat through the systems. And of course, don't forget about the real old system with the radiators. That's another type of heat. But I think a lot of our buildings have, some of your old buildings still have the radiators in your schools.
Oh.
Yeah, especially in New York, D.C., maybe even Baltimore. And, especially Ohio. Yeah, that's crazy. And not counting that because you're recycling the air, that's almost like you have to almost treat that like it's like mold. You know how mold grows because the air is not recycled. It's just moisture and nothing's refreshed, Oxygen, no oxygen. So and then you're wearing a mask. That has to be very uncomfortable, So I don't know, y'all. We talking about a lot of different science. Now they talking about so much science. Science is starting to seem really, really interesting to me now. You guys got to go out there on YouTube and watch some of this stuff, especially when they have those science conference. It's some deep stuff, very deep. It's fascinating, especially when they talk about the human body.
They're getting a bad rap, though. I mean, they're like, oh, do you believe science or do you believe the nuts on somebody else saying, no, it ain't true?
Right.
I think I'm going to follow the scientists. But it's so sad they're getting a bad rap.
Yeah. And you know why? And I think it's because they're not really telling us what's really going on. That's what I really believe. I mean, of course, we got our conspiracy theories out there, but sometimes them things end up being true because they come from reliable sources, but because their credibility is destroyed and they threaten, you can't believe it. You don't want to believe it, but I don't know. I just tell people so far the main thing is you got to wear your mask and wash your hands. You just can't be just lollying around like nothing's wrong. And especially our young people. Again, you got to remember, you got to go home one day. At least you go home to your cat and your dog, you're okay. But if you got grandma and grandpa sitting in there, you know they diabetic or they got respiratory issues and they hooked up to an oxygen pump, you can't be out there doing that kind of stuff. You just have to ride it out.
I don't think everybody's really getting it, because I think that first of all, I think we should have took heed with what the countries did in the beginning. Because I saw in the news last week that a lot of health officials saying lock it down and start all over again because it's such a mess.
Right, I'm hearing that too.
About it.
Yeah. I'm hearing that too, and that's what I was telling my wife.
I think said 150 health officials wrote a letter to President Trump.
Wow.
Because it wasn't. Because they're seeing what the real deal really is.
Right. They on
and
the
it's
front
almost
line.
like, but the way it is now, we're gonna make. They said we're really not in the second wave. We never really came out of the first.
Right. Because that's not going to happen to the fall. Yeah, that's going to be the fall when we see that, wave. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They said we're still in the first wave, and that's why everything is getting worse. But now we could have got under control when it was mainly coming from only like 2 states. Mm-hmm. But now they said it's coming from a lot of the southern states.
Right, and that's the issue because I'm gonna tell you, just from watching Facebook. Man, you talk about having celebrations like birthday parties and those graduation parties. Man, they was having everybody over, pulling pork off the grill. And, man, they was just, I ain't see nobody with no mask on or nothing. Hugging and dancing. And, right after the graduation, they was going off in the South. Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. I had some concerns.
And people try. I think Connecticut not allow anybody in. If you do go in, you got to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah, it's a couple states. Yeah, a couple states are saying that a couple states are not allowing. I think Maryland was almost at that point where certain states you go into, you come back, you gotta wait. So certain states is on the list of Maryland. So my wife actually checked on
one thing that I found interesting is that they said that the quickest that we have ever come up with a vaccine was the polio vaccine, and that took 4.5 years.
Wow.
But they said that and when the vaccine came out, I believe it was the 50s, it also was a spike in cancer because of the polio vaccine.
Oh, wow. But what's interesting though?
Yeah, it was a spike like those born between in the 1950s. Mm-hmm. It was a big spike in cancer.
Yeah,
for that time frame.
But that was a crazy period anyway, because we had a lot of industries.
So when they trying to rush something in a year, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but also too,
people.
If you remember 2000,
because they don't even know what the side effects going to be yet. Right. It takes a period of time.
Yeah, but remember, Mike, in 2009 when we had H1N1, they had shut schools down for like 2 weeks because all the kids were getting sick. It wasn't affecting the adults at that time, but they came up. They had a vaccine ready for the kids like in 3-4 weeks. It was already. We had to take them out to a public facility, a local government building, and all the kids was lined up to get the shot. And next thing you know, it was in a mist. The following year, you got your choice shot. Now it's actually combined with the flu shot, the H1N1.
But with the polio vaccine, it took years before they was able to see the spike in cancer. The people they didn't see it until they became adults.
Wow.
Yeah, but you guys too, as far as the H1N1, first of all, you had a different president who was in control of that, which was Obama. And he had all of that laid out as far as the playbook.
Yeah.
And they had all of that when they came from China. They had all of that set up because they had somebody in China that was right on top of it to stop it before it got here.
Right.
So that way, those in China were able to transmit back over here and say, look, This is what's going on. This is a strain. This is who we're talking to. So this is how we need to develop it. We've already got stuff already developed. We think we can help that will take care of the H1N1 before it gets over here.
Yeah.
Now we got a nut in office. I mean, believe it was true. And now look what you have.
But you know what's so crazy, though? It's some government people that's saying that they actually knew about it in November. But they were still having the football games going on, people, international travel. And because some of the scientists came back sick. And they immediately put themselves in quarantine. But leadership didn't really want to, get involved with that. They just let it, it'll go away. It's
a terrible situation.
Yeah. And you talk about November.
I won't caution anybody about that. Some vaccine come out that quick.
Yeah, November is a long time.
And I've been talking to, like I said, I talked to a lot of the nurses over here, because I talked to all the social workers over here in Eastern Shore. They're like, I'm not even going nowhere near that vaccine. Nowhere near that vaccine.
I totally agree.
And they trying to sell that bad boy. It's already, I think it's two companies.
Been in play for like 30 years over here. Just like, no.
But they're already shooting up people in South Africa with it, because it's already like 2 or 3 companies. They already said they have one that's out there ready to go. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But they probably doing tests now.
But I remember the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee experiment with the syphilis, and I also remember the smallpox and the blankets with the Native American.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the thing about it is,
and they just talked about the polio vaccine. So that's 3 samples. That's 3 good examples why everybody should be skeptical.
But to me, I think people would be more comfortable if they came with a cure versus a vaccine. Because I was listening to Tom Hanks was talking about how they took some of his plasma, from his blood plasma, and they made some kind of medicine. And they were giving it to some people, and I think it cured like 250 people or something like that. He said I think they draw all your blood out. He said it wasn't painful, and then they able to pull from it. Yeah, and this is only for people who've been sick already.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
No, I'm saying they're going after people who survived it, and they're taking their blood plasma and making this medicine. And they said people been walking around.
Yeah, but the health officials also saying that they don't really know yet if people that had it can catch it again.
Yeah, that was a big right. He said that too. He said they told him that too, that he don't know if he could catch it again. So
and also I think it's something about this some vaccine that's causing all this autism. I don't remember that growing up.
Yeah, but
all these people who got autism.
Yeah, because remember we was growing up, there was only a few people in the neighborhood that had a child that was like really slow, or they just couldn't do anything at all. Yeah. But now you got them like you can't tell if there's something wrong with them until they, you just look at them and say, oh, they're not socializing right, but they look normal.
Yeah,
before you can identify them a lot quicker, now you can't. And
I think what I heard anyway, I don't know, it's not really, I don't know whether it's confirmed, that it was something to do with the high doses of mercury in the vaccinations.
Yeah, plus you remember too.
And it's all too, like Batman said earlier, it's all too, as far as all environmental change. Yeah. A lot of the different environmental changes that are going on.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Mike, sometimes you gotta look at where the people live too. Remember, if you watch some of those shows, those movies that were about real big lawsuit cases where the whole community was having sick kids, and because it was some stories out there on YouTube where the bottling companies were going out to these communities and they was pulling all of the water sources away from the community. So if you're not getting no rain or anything like that, then you're talking about a lot of pollutants that's just hanging around, and then stuff is getting inside the waterways and people drinking that water. So the kids are affected first, especially the unborn. And a lot of people realize too, lead can really mess you up too, especially young men. Because one thing that was so crazy about lead, and it's a science behind that too. the young girls in inner cities weren't affected by lead as much as the young boys were. They find out with women, the lead kind of finds itself in their uterus. It's not in their bloodstream. Like with males, it's in their bloodstream, which means it's going to take away the good metals from your body and minerals, and you're not going to be able to process information fast. So that means they can't retain much when they start getting to the 8th or 9th grade, when the work start getting a little more difficult. And that's when they find out the kids are dropping out of school because they can't keep up, because they frustrated while they're there, and they ain't doing nothing but just messing up because now they're embarrassed. So now they become a behavioral problem. And that was really popular in Douglas, because they were trying to figure out why Douglas High School have a really, really high dropout rate with the males. Real high dropout rate. And it's because a lot of those row houses, they were rented. They weren't controlled by the government. They were rental properties, and the landlords weren't really keeping up with the paint. Because what happened is, it takes lead paint 17 years for it to start breaking down. And it was really popular using it in people's kitchens where it's hot, the heat from the stove, and the bathrooms where it's high humidity. So the lead paint lasts a lot longer than latex paint. Latex paint will just peel right off under that kind of exposure. You find that you paint your kitchen every 2-3 years. Well, it's different with lead paint. And even with the barns, even on the Eastern Shore and areas. And that's why I think DuPont Paint's still not around today, because they got hit with so many lawsuits that they just couldn't survive it. And remember, those barns used to be painted but with lead paint because they can handle the environment, the rain, the acid rain, and all that stuff, the sun. The paint, the farmers didn't have to find themselves painting the fence as much. And remember, that stuff just peeled away and it become part of the environment. And then you start getting the animals eating it. The kids are playing in it. Man, we even had a case where the little baby and the little dog was eating the lead because it has a sweet taste to it. And then they putting their toys in their mouth. You got toys that's actually painted with lead coming over from China. And batteries. Kids have got toys with batteries in it, and they handling it, putting their fingers in their mouth. And it doesn't take much for the blood to get poisoned and affect a young child. Yeah, man. So it's a lot out there, man, about science, man, that, businesses played around with it, man, and affected people, especially, you're talking about your inner city.
It's something. There's a whole lot to think about.
Yeah. And that was a really interesting, and not just that too. Then you talking about mold. We found that a lot of the people couldn't really afford the plumbers, so their plumbing is leaking, because it don't take much for your toilet to leak. Everybody know after a couple of years those seals break down and you got a small leak, and that is leaking down in your basement. I mean, we went to houses where people had holes in their second floor all the way down to the first floor, and then they got a puddle in the basement. And now you're talking about mold. And mold take flight. It don't just hang around and grow. It takes flight. And you start taking it into your lungs, and that's exactly how people are affected with lung cancer. Because a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people don't realize a lot of their houses and apartments and townhomes they live in, there's underground streams, and mold could also affect your digestive system. Because I know a couple people who couldn't figure out why their stomach was messed up, and found out that all of them lived in the same community. Now, Mike, the community. I'm not going to say it on the air, but it was a lot of people. And I was like, oh, where did you used to live at? And they tell me, I said, oh my God, dude, my church member went there and so-and-so went there. Yeah, that area, well, I'm going to just put it out there. Woodlawn. Woodlawn is known for having underground streams. And the whole
community of Woodlawn?
Yeah, Woodlawn has, because this thing, remember that water, all that water, it travels through Woodlawn Drive all the way down Security, all the way into Lincoln Park. Well, people don't really right, and then it takes a route all the way through where Gwen Oak Park used to be, and then it goes. Who knows where it goes after that? But it travels through underground streams, and it heads over the Rolling Road. So a lot of those homes, Because I had a friend who bought a townhouse and she got rid of it, man. I think she was in there for 2 years. She couldn't take it no more. Stomach was killing her.
Yeah, you can't. You got to watch where. You got to watch. You got to really look at the landmarks where a lot of these places was originally built.
Yeah, even older homes,
Yep.
You got streams. People don't realize that underground streams. You got to have your property X-rayed to find out, especially people who got spring water, underground spring water. And remember, Mike, mom of them houses like that always had that, that funny older thing going on in the basement sometimes because water is trapped somewhere. But I think they got it cleaned up with a humidifier. But that's always what people recommend as the second remedy besides digging a French trench around your house. That's the way you're supposed to do it, but that's really expensive. So most people just get an humidifier and try to pull the humidity out of the air, but then realize is you got mold growing, invisible. Yeah, man. Science, man.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody come in there with that infrared.
Yeah.
Coming in there, they can see through the walls.
Yep. See what's going on.
But Lady Praise. Yeah, Lady Praise.
Yes.
James Church is built on a stream.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, water all in the basement. I said they should have did they did the research now they know. But it was built on a stream.
Wow.
That's why they got water problems.
Yeah, you smell that funny smell?
Yeah. Water problems.
If they smell that smell, that means you got mold. You got mold.
So you can visibly see the water.
Yeah, because it's probably in the basement. It happened a couple years ago. Brandon and I was working at this church.
It's in the basement.
Yeah, that stuff will get you. It mess with your stomach and your lungs the most. Yeah, you gotta be really careful, man. That's no joke, man. Yeah.
I remember I went there and saw that. I said, I can't bring my family to this.
Yeah.
Water actually was sitting water.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
It was built on a stream.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
On top of a stream. Not running on the side, but on top of it.
Yeah, the only safe place to have.
I actually did research on that church for my book, No Ways Tired, and I didn't even realize that because they actually had a lot of that stuff in the historical society at King County. I didn't have to go back in there and look at that.
Yeah,
deeper.
That's right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, even those houses. You got people houses built on those stilts over top of water. It's okay if it's salt water.
That church is old. Lady Praise, that church is very old.
That church is very old. 18.
Yeah, my wife's I guess great grandfather was the co-founder.
Wow.
Yeah, 18.
That's a small church too, right?
Yeah, James A. Jones.
That's a small church, James.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the people who build their houses over top of water on those stilts, unless it's salt water, it's not bad. But if it's fresh water, you can have some problems and don't even realize it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because they built some townhomes on the water down the harbor, and that's but that is salt water though. Yep, because they come out of Chesapeake Bay.
Well, you got a lot of people who got beachfront property. They talk about beach corrosion and all that. When you're dealing with water, man, that's a nasty thing.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. Look like this the end of our program, and again, we apologize to our listeners. Our artist wasn't able to be part of this program, but we shared some very important information during this time, and pretty much anything that's going on with for a lot of you. We have a lot of listeners from the Baltimore area, and some of you could be living in some areas where there's underground streams, and you're wondering why your stomach hurts all the time and why you coughing funny. You feel bad in the morning. It's because there's something going on with the property, your environment is not right. So you need to check that out.
Hey, Batman.
Yeah, what's up?
Batman, before we get off, I just want to, for those listening in Maryland, effective Friday at 5 o'clock, the governor has listed that statewide masking order will be expanded to require all face coverings to anywhere public spaces, all businesses.
Wow.
Indoor, outdoor, everywhere.
Wow.
Everywhere
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock.
Wow, that's
So-
deep.
5 o'clock this Friday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, what, it just
Friday
came
at
out?
5 o'clock.
It just
It
came out?
I'm looking at it right now here, and they just put it out for the King County Office of Emergency Services. Just put it out. So for anybody in Maryland, effective statewide masking order will be expanded to require face coverings in the public spaces of all businesses and indoor public areas when it is impossible to maintain this physical distancing. So he has really changed. And now he's saying he strongly counts to postpone or cancel travel to states with positivity rates of 10%. Florida, Texas, California, Louisiana, Arizona, Alabama, South Carolina, New England, Idaho. Wow. That's crazy.
Wow. So you can't go to those states and come back? Is that what he's saying? You got to be out for 14
That's what
days?
it's saying.
Yeah, and that's what my wife was just telling me
That's what
too,
he's saying.
because she was checking on North Carolina, because we have to travel to North Carolina, and they've been having some issues too, but I don't think it was as bad as they. Yeah, South Carolina's on there,
Most
right?
right now, it's South Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're saying South Carolina is not good to travel to right now. And he's saying Nebraska, Idaho, Arizona, Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, Texas, Florida.
Yeah, they got limitations where you can eat, because like when we traveled to Virginia to go pick up Skylar from Hampton, that was right before the big box stores was opening back up. It was only one box store was open that was Kohl's that you can go use the bathroom. Like none of the restaurants would let you use the bathroom. Best Buy wasn't even letting people in the building. So you had to stop at a rest stop if you was traveling. If you didn't, you was in trouble till you got to, your destination, your hotel, wherever you were staying. Luckily, when we got on the campus, we were able to use the restroom because they were only allowing so many people on campus per hour. And your name had to be on the list.
So, hey, Batman.
Yeah.
Think about it. You think about our forefathers and foremothers, how it used to be the law.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Every
And
day.
they had to,
Yeah.
remember that green? They had the green book, and they would only
Yep.
go where they were.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
I think you got to live by that every day and still pay taxes for public facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's crazy. You paying taxes and still can't use public facilities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please keep in mind. Yeah, please keep in mind and keep all of us who have to be out in the front line. It's very hard to be out traveling around during the day, and you can't go in anywhere and use the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to go in and keep protected as much as I possibly can because I'm out and about, and I have to try to get, go in these convenience store restrooms, and I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. It's like
I'll keep you in my prayers, Lady Praise.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's like
Yep.
I mean, all of us, especially my coworkers in PG County and Montgomery County, they have it bad over there because they've got to go into some bad areas, and they just, if they've got to go to the bathroom, they're like, look. I just tell them, look, just try to keep yourself covered as possible. Get in and get out because they got to go to the bathroom. So. Where they gonna go? So,
All right.
keep us in prayer, please.
Yeah.
All right, we have another
I
song
don't think
by Jana Blackwell. We're going to end the show on that note. We got to get ready for the next one. Stay tuned for Becoming You with Dr. Diane Duckett. She's coming up at 9:30 in 4 minutes. So stay tuned, everybody. Those listening to us on Periscope TV and Spreaker Radio Live, we appreciate you guys. And we hope you get a chance to listen to us again on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, and Podcast Addict. All right. So take care, everybody. We appreciate you all. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you, Lady Praise. Be safe out there.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Peace and blessings.
Thank God. Be safe.
Can you hear that playing? That's my soul. The crowd is jumping, yes, it's on. Time for me to get it in. Show 'em how to do it right. Up in the club, a couple shots of Remy, VIPs going down with Patron. I'm feeling good, loving this vibe. Keep them haters outside. I'm headed out the door, yes, I'm feeling myself. Calling up my girls as I head into the nightlife. All work, no play, take heed, better listen. Get that money, don't let it make you. I know what's up, can't play them games. He's choosing, but I'll pass. Been there, done that, so I'm not surprised. Was the top one in my class. Don't hold your breath, cause you might turn blue trying to wait on something big. Have a backup plan to ensure yourself so you know just what to do. The club is jumping right. It's packed on a Thursday night. DJ's playing my song. I'm feeling good, turn it up tonight. When you hear that playing, that's my song. DJ play that song. The crowd is jumping, yes it's on. Time for me to get it in, show 'em how to do it right. Up in the club, a couple shots of Remy, VIPs going down with Patron. I'm feeling good, loving this vibe. Keep them haters outside.
Hold up, wait a minute, that's my song. 2 step to the right, 1 slide to the left. I think I got it. Let me show 'em how to get it in. Much older now, knees stiff, hard to bend. Flow proud, little mama try to back it in. Drink in the hand, think it's a shot of hand. Hot to the bug, guess I'm off Patron again. Stick it with a 2-step and nothing else is hard to
When
get.
you hear that playing, that's my song. DJ play that song. The crowd is jumping, yes it's on. Time for me to get it in, show 'em how to do it right. Up in the club, a couple shots of Remy, VIPs going down with Patron. I'm feeling good, loving this vibe. Keep them haters outside. I'm in my cool, what's up, let's ride. Headed to the after party, night's not over yet. Been beat on one, hanging on my coattail. Ain't got time, say the line for the mother one. Miss me with that drama, I'm straight cool.